everyone. So I see all the ladies with happy faces, all excited, and like Sundar said, the men are feeling a little bit, it's been all about women from morning. Why are we even part of this whole thing? So I just want to tell you, you're part of this for a reason. Because like Nirupa mentioned, this year's International Women's Day theme is about breaking the bias. So we thought, let's break the bias of Women's Day being only about women. So that's why we have all the lovely ladies and the handsome men part of this whole event. Yeah? Because this topic, the next session, is going to be equally important to each and every one of us. Because it's going to be about personal branding, which I believe is a topic that is very important in the corporate world. And you, me, like every one of us, in some way or the other, we're trying to build our brands. We not like call it personal branding, but we're trying to do it. We're trying to master this skill. So we have with us a special guest, or rather an expert on this subject, to help us master this skill. So let me give a brief introduction about him. He started his career in Mumbai, Leo Burnett advertising firm, and he moved on to work for JWT, FCB, which are globally leading advertising agencies. So he has over 20 years of experience in the corporate world, and he has worked across India, Mauritius, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka. And Sundar mentioned that although he's an Indian, he calls him a Sri Lankan because he's been more than 15 years here in Sri Lanka, right?
Absolutely.
So he's also an esteemed member of the International Chamber of Commerce, the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, and also part of the Indian CEO Forum. And you would be surprised to know that he has nurtured and developed some of the brands which are very close to our heart, like Rati, New Dale, and H&B Credit Card. So in summary, he's a marketing communication specialist whose passion lies in building brands and also helping clients grow and transform their professional lives. So without much further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Santosh Menon, the chairman and CEO of FCBKL.LK.
Wow, that was quite an introduction. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So Shah Rukh Khan, arguably one of the world's foremost brands, was asked what his biggest nightmare was. And you know what he said? He said, sometimes I have nightmares that I walk out in the public and no one recognizes me. Now, that's an incredible need to be seen and noticed, expressed very dramatically as only Shah Rukh can. But each one of us have that need, to a lesser or a greater extent. So today's session on personal branding is about helping you reflect your true authentic self in a distinct, real manner so that you are recognized for it. Thank you so much for that very kind introduction, and Sundar for the invitation to do this session. I'm delighted to be able to take this session on Women's Day, to a corporate as accomplished as yourselves. So I'm going to spend the next 1 hour doing an interactive session. Yeah, it's going to be interactive. I'll ask some of you questions. So please remember in a session like this, there are no right or wrong answers. All answers are the right answers. Another request, please keep your mobile phone switched off or on vibrator mode, because I need your undivided attention for this session to be a meaningful session and useful for all of you. Yeah. So, and also no need for any note taking. We are actually recording this, and if this device supports and cooperates, then I think we'll have a link on the FCBKL.LK YouTube page. So you should be able to access this easily. Yeah. So let's start with the word brand and branding. The word branding originated from the burning iron symbol that was placed on each cow to mark it as distinct from others. It's about differentiating and projecting uniqueness. Yeah? Now there are two definitions to personal branding. Let me tell you what those definitions are. Personal branding is the conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual by positioning them as an authority in their industry, elevating their credibility, and differentiating themselves from the competition to ultimately advance their career, increase their circle of influence, and have a larger impact. This is really the definition of personal branding. But I have a slightly different definition. This you could call the Santosh Menon definition of personal branding. Okay. My definition is personal branding is the conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual by revealing their own unique and individual strengths in a manner that engages family, friends, and community to ultimately add value to their lives, increase a circle of influence, and to have a larger impact on society. I hope you're seeing the difference in the two definitions. So let me ask you guys, right? Can you name some people who you consider to be famous personal brands? Dhoni, okay? Fantastic person. Dhoni, of course, as well, of course, but you know I'm biased towards Sri Lanka. Yeah.
Cristiano
Ronaldo. Elon Musk. Yeah, Elon Musk. So great. I mean, these are all fantastic names. People who've really done amazing stuff, right? I mean, accomplished people. Fantastic personal brands. And there is this man, Bhuban Bhadyakar. Have any of you heard of him? Bhuban Bhadyakar? Okay. Now, this is an interesting story, right? This is a peanut seller from West Bengal who sells peanuts. Okay? And let me show you a little bit. I'm going to show you a video of what he does. If this clicker cooperates. See, this is where he comes from, remote part. Okay, so that's great. So this is the story of Bhuban Bhadyakar. Now let me show you what he does and what he did. Basically, he's a peanut seller, but now look what he's become. I mean, you know how many people live in this world? How many human beings there are? Anybody knows the number? 7.8 billion. Yeah, fantastic. So potentially, therefore, how many personal brands exist in the world? Exactly. It's 7.8 billion brands. I mean, each individual potentially is a personal brand. Now, I want to do an exercise with 3 of you. Can 3 of you step up? I mean, I'm assuming that all of you know each other, right? So can 3 of you randomly, and there are no tough questions, so there are no maths, science questions. So I want 3 of you to step up, please. And maybe the ladies can step up since it's International Women's Day. Please, can you come? And can you come? 3 of you. Please come here. Please come here so that you're in front of the camera. Now I want to ask 3 of you to do one small little exercise, right? I want you to tell me 3 really good things about her. Please.
Cannot hear you.
Friendly.
You are friendly. You are very friendly, and you are very organized, and whatever the work you are doing, you do it very properly.
So friendly, organized, and does everything properly. Okay. Can you say 3 things about her?
She's very creative. She makes quick decisions. Like on the go, she can think of a lot of things, strategize things, and also she's very organized.
Okay, creative, strategically oriented, and organized. Wow, interesting. Okay. Okay, now, why don't you tell me 3 things about her?
She's very silent, but do whatever she wants to do in a proper, organized manner, and friendly and caring.
Fantastic. Now, you know what is interesting? All 3 of you have just proven the point I'm making. All of you are distinct. You know, and you all have expressed your own. Now, let me ask you one thing. Fact of the matter is, whether you are out there creating a brand consciously or not, a brand already exists. The point is, how do you make sure that that distinct brand that you already are is out there and projected in forums and in places where you need to project it? And I think to that extent, today's exercise is to help you do that. And I'm really able to demonstrate it upfront for you how we have already 3 distinct personalities. And I kid you not, if I put all of you like this in this exercise and you have this exercise, you will find that each one of you is actually very, very distinct. Thank you so much, ladies, for spending the time here, please. So, there is only one you. Discover it. Now, the fact of the matter is, we asked the 3 ladies to talk about one another. Okay, now I'm going to ask the same 3 ladies to, tell me something very specific. Tell me, what are the 3 things you really enjoy doing? It doesn't need to be work related. There are no right answers here. 3 things you really enjoy doing. From the heart, you have to say. And all of these answers, don't think too much. Just say it, right?
I love traveling. I love listening to music and baking.
Fantastic. Traveling, music, and baking.
Dancing, working, and learning.
Dancing, working, learning. Okay, super. What about you?
Me?
Yes.
Traveling. Music. Listening to music and playing with kids.
Playing with kids. Now, fact of the matter is, and this is what I want to talk to you guys about. Ultimately, it's about discovering things that you really love. It's about really asking yourself questions. What am I really excited about? What are the things that, if I have to write and say, I want to write on this topic, where does the pen flow the maximum? So I'm sure if I ask these guys to express, what they really like about those specific things, they will be able to express it either through words or through pictures or through language and speech or through drawings or through paintings. But the fact that something within you evokes a certain kind of a passion from within which allows you to express is at the core of who you really are. And that's very important. And this is the first step. It's a very simple step. Each one of us. So let me ask the gent sitting right there, touching his beard. Tell me 3 things that you really like. I can see he's really thinking about it. Yeah. I mean, and I can also see he's a guy with points of views, right? I'm sure he has an opinion on everything. So let me hear from him.
Yeah, I love traveling.
Yes.
I love writing and I love listening.
You love
Listening.
listening,
Music.
listening to music, traveling,
And writing.
and writing.
Writing.
Riding,
Yeah.
horses, motorbike. Exactly. Yeah. Good. Good. You should clarify that. Yeah. Right. Fantastic. It's fantastic. You look like a cowboy as well. Very good. Superb. So I mean, ultimately, it's about expression. So, what's your favorite bike?
Favorite bike is Kawasaki V-Tiger.
Kawasaki?
V-Tiger.
See, I don't even know the brand name. He does. It just comes out easily from him.
Is it Japan brand?
See, he wants to correct me and tell me what it is about. This is it. You look at the way he's expressing. It's there within. He says, this bugger doesn't even know what a cow is. Let me explain to him. Now I'm sure he will take my email ID and send me a picture of it as well. And then tell me, listen, you need to really know what this brand is, otherwise you're not cool at all. You shouldn't be making these presentations if you don't know what a Kawasaki Bajaj bike is, or not a Bajaj, but a Kawasaki bike is. So that's it. That's something that evokes passion within you. You can express. And it's about that. It's about discovering the real you. It's not so tough. Anybody can do it. And I've demonstrated to you now in a very simple way how people are actually able to express, what they really are all about. And to that extent, it's as simple as that. Identify what really you're passionate about, write it down, think about it again, reflect on it, and say, are these really the things that drive me? And then if you are, you actually are already on the first step of creating your personal brand. The next obvious step is express. No rocket science here. So, there are 3 things I love doing. The first one is, I love nature. Just like he expressed his passion for bikes, if anyone talks about a particular bird or an animal, I jump in and I want to know more and I want to be part of that conversation. The second thing which is a passion for me is movement practice. Yeah, and I love my movement practice. I have a YouTube channel called Gym Sutra, and I enjoy sharing. I mean, my intention is not to have 1 million followers. My intention is purely to express what I really love and put it out there. I'm not even looking at how many subscribers I have. I'm not looking at how many people are sharing it. I love doing it and I want to share it. A bit like him, I want to make sure that everyone understands that moving is good for joy and for your body. And I love telling people that. And if people don't do it, I'll be sending them links of my Gym Sutra and ask them, please do it. And the third thing I love doing is I love being in the business of advertising. Anyone talks brands, my ears will perk up. Anyone says this is what we are doing with our brand, I want to jump in there and be part of that conversation, listen, learn, and if I can, I'd like to share. Okay. So this is basically a fundamental urge all of us humans already have. We have things within us which we are passionate about. Everybody has it. It doesn't matter which field you come from. It doesn't matter whether you come from finance, or from regulatory, or from creative, or from marketing, or from sales, or from logistics, or from administration. Irrespective of your designation, as human beings, there are some things which evoke in us a genuine desire to express. Personal branding is first about finding out what are those 3-4 things that really get you going and get you passionate and get you having conversations about it. And then finding ways and means to express. Okay, is that clear so far? Yeah, because when you do that, you are able to express your authentic self. And I've already demonstrated randomly by taking 3 people that we had 3 distinct personalities. And I'm telling you, and I kid you not, there are 7.8 billion completely distinct personal brands out there. Yeah? Moving forward. The next one, which is project. So I have a secret. It's on camera now, but I'm still going to reveal it. I Google people. So when I heard Sundar Ramchandran is coming to Sri Lanka, I googled him. Who's Sundar Ramchandran? And I found, my God, there are tomes and tomes of data about him. I said, my God, I might as well get somebody else to analyze who this gentleman is. There's too much data out there, but it's fantastic. How many of you do that? You know, I have somebody in my office who's a Facebook stalker. So if I tell that person that I'm going to meet Sundar Ramchandran tomorrow, she'll tell me, he had a girlfriend, so-and-so was a girlfriend. Now somebody else, he's married. Now he's got these kids, the kids are so-and-so, and this is where he lives in Kirk. And I'm like, how the hell did you find all this out? Facebook now? It's simple to do. How many of you are Facebook stalkers? You can reveal. Camera is not directed towards you. Yeah? Exactly. Exactly. Now, have you ever thought, if someone Googles your name, what will they find? So what is your digital footprint? Is your digital footprint interesting? Is your digital footprint remarkable? Or is your digital footprint non-existent? What is it? Mr. Kawasaki, how good is your digital footprint, according to you? No. If someone Googled your name, what's your name? Ayesh what? Go on Google right now. Do you have a phone with you? Just go on Google right now. Okay. Who can do it? Somebody can do it. Go on Google and just Google your name right now. See what comes up.
You can do it.
Yes. Do the exercise. Do the exercise. How many pages of information is there? Okay, now let me tell you one thing. There are a couple of people, there is a dilemma on this one. There are many people who feel, I don't want to be on social media. I don't want to be stalked. I don't want people to know much about myself. I am shy. I don't want anyone to know who I am. Fact of the matter is, irrespective of whether you make an effort to do personal branding or not, people anyway will make opinions about you. But what having a digital footprint does is it allows you to control the narrative. So do you want a controlled narrative of who your brand is or not? Because anyway people are having opinions. Now none of you on Facebook, but already 3 people have an opinion of what each other is. And you go and ask somebody, what do you think of Sundar Ramchandran? They'll tell you. Do you want your narrative controlled? Now, as we move forward in the digital world, there are some very strong privacy norms coming up. Today, thanks to my Apple device, I feel very protected. I feel very protected in the sense that, I don't need to reveal my birthday. I don't reveal details of my account. He's still on Google, I think. Yeah.
He's talking somebody.
Yeah, I hope he's not stalking me. So the point is, you can still be safe while at the same time control and manage your narrative on social media. You have to understand that social media today and Google provides you a terrific avenue to control the narrative about your own personal brand in an extremely efficient and effective way. Use it, guys, use it. Don't be afraid. Let me show you a couple of things I do. I mean, I have to spread the word about myself as well.
Not often that I come on a holiday and shoot things. So let's start.
My audio is a bit speakers are not good.
Shuffle it off. Move the line. Start with the line. Move up. One stopping push up. Move up. Another stopping push up. Just go back to the line. Hold the push up. Up. Down. Plank. Lift. Plank. Lift.
Okay.
Plank. Side. Plank. Side.
Is that the gym sutra?
Yeah, actually, so this is something I like to do. Wherever I go, I want to show one particular exercise. I just put on my camera like I put it on here, and I just do something and I put it up wherever, on Insta, on YouTube. I just love it. I love doing that. And you see, I look very different there compared to the way I look now. But that's also part of who I am. You see? So at the end of the day, when somebody Googles me, they get a whole host of images. And they see a persona which is who I really am. I love doing these kind of things. Now this is a thing I did what I saw. And I think obviously a quality institution like this is definitely equipping each one of you with unique skills. And the reason these unique skills have been imparted to you is for you to be able to express your own
This is a
individual
university.
NSBM.
full
Convocation.
potential. It is about fulfilling your inherent unique potential. That's what get.
So that's it. And you look at the articles, so I keep writing articles in Daily FT. I love writing about advertising. And you will see my columns ever so often. Lately I've just kept it on hold for a little while because I just want to make sure that once the circulation comes back to normal is when I use my content. Otherwise, if I put all my content out there now when people aren't reading as much, I'm going to lose the content. It's not going to be meaningful to do it again and again. But there was a point, I think, just before the pandemic where in 1 year I wrote 32 articles for Daily FT. And it's just because I want to put my point of view out there. But it's part of the job of projection. So you got to discover who you are. You got to express it. You got to project it. And that projection comes from you. So what is inside you needs to, and what is inside you truly you, yourself, your Kawasaki passion, needs to be out there, projected. Because that authentic self is going to be recognized and cherished by all of those who actually engage with you and connect with you. So that's a very important part. Now, where do you project? You obviously know the answers to that. So I'm not going to give you a long lecture on what Facebook is, what LinkedIn is, what Insta is, what YouTube is. But in one sentence, I'll tell you, LinkedIn is where you express your professional opinions, where you have conversations about your business, about the brands, about things that you do at work, your opinions, you express it. Facebook is where you network with friends and family. Insta is where you share pictures and videos. YouTube is where you do video storytelling. And let me tell you one thing. 5 years ago, if I was going for a session like this, I would need to hire a cameraman, a harangue of things, wiring, lighting. Today here I am, my own phone rigged up. Myself have landed up here. And I can assure you, God willing, that this will be a fairly good recording. And it's an HD recording, high quality. Anybody can take their smartphone and do a video recording at any point. The world is your oyster. It's for you to go out there, use the things that are in your hand's reach and express and project using social media and the digital medium. Yeah, I think the point is very clear.
And I think
So-
if I can just bring in a nuance there, I think Santosh, what's also very appealing to me is, one is you're doing this, but two, you're doing this at the level that you're operating at, right? You don't have to do, you can still go and hire a video recorder and do all the glitz and glamour, but the fact that in spite of where you are in your career at this stage, you're still choosing to be hands-on and quick and dirty. And that, I think, mindset
Yes.
is worthy of picking up. That you don't, no matter how senior you become, just whatever you have, get on with it. You don't need a big drama.
Yeah, I have a point of view on this. The way I run my organization, there is no senior and junior. And I want to express it in a slightly different way. I personally feel that in today's world, there is nothing called hierarchy. When I recruit people in my organization, I tell them that when you come to work for us, it's like riding a bicycle. You sit on the cycle and ride it. Only then you learn how to ride it. You're going to fall. So we have people to support you to ensure that you don't fall so grievously that you hurt yourself. But ultimately, the junior most trainees in my organization make presentations on the latest in social media to the senior most people in the team. And the senior most people in the team help the junior most people to understand how systems and processes work. I don't get called sir. The first day they come, they say sir, and I say stop. That's the last time you'll call me sir. I'm Santosh, refer to me as Santosh. First of all, I don't like to feel old, right? I'm very honest. So I like to do the kind of things that the latest generation is doing all the time, because it makes me feel good about myself. And I think there are some fantastically smart things younger people do, which older people just don't get. We always have to be 18 in our hearts. And age is always a number. It's just a number, I can tell you. You take care of yourself, stay fit, stay mobile, stay happy. Seniority can come. You can be chairman, chairperson, chairlady, whatever it might be. But at the end of the day, you should always be 18. So that's my fundamental belief. And I think as a personal brand, that's something. Never lose your Kawasaki bike. Yeah? Keep riding it even when you're 80. That'll keep you good. That'll keep you happy. So it's a point of view, right? Network. Very often what happens is the organization will provide you opportunities to go out there and meet people from other businesses, from other associates. And you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, another party. What am I going to talk there? They just want to stand. I'll be standing there with a glass of a drink, which I have to drink. Maybe I don't need to drink it, but I don't like to drink. I have to do these things which I have to be forced to do. I understand that. But you know what? I don't drink. I stopped drinking 5 years ago. I don't drink a drop of liquor. But I network. I'm here talking to all of you. All of those are notions about things that you think has to be done to make yourself appealing. You think you have to wear great clothes to go into a networking party and to be seen as glitzy. It's not about all of that. It's about actually looking somebody straight in the eye, listening to what they're saying, caring genuinely from the bottom of their heart about their opinion, and then expressing your own. This is my strong point of view on networking. Very important to network. Very important whenever the organization provides you an opportunity to go out and represent them in a seminar or in an event. To go out there despite your personality and mingle. Now, I can imagine a person who's silent would think to himself or herself, I hate crowds. I can't talk. What am I going to do going to a networking event? You'll be surprised. As long as you don't put an internal pressure on yourself to go out there and talk non-stop, you will be fine. The biggest issue that happens with shy people, and you won't believe it, there is a certain shyness in me. People can't see it ever, but it's there. I'm more a one-on-one person than a 100 people person. In a party situation, I can engage with you one-on-one. But if there are 10 people who stand next to me, I feel a little nervous. Even I do that. And I'm making a presentation to you on personal branding. Because ultimately, it's about understanding and becoming aware of that part of yourself, and then listening to that thing and saying, okay, now I am a shy person. When I go into a crowd, I feel a little weak in the knees, right? And I feel nervous and shy. How do you overcome that? It's very simple. You are not going there to do a performance like Shah Rukh Khan. You are going there as a representative of a company with certain skills that are uniquely yours. You are doing some things. Now, I heard about you. Somebody saying that you're silent plus organized plus reliable and all of that. That counts for something. So go with your chest held high, your head held high. Be quietly confident. If you don't want to say a word, don't say a word in a network meeting. I'm fine with that. Chances are you will. Because if you go with that approach of saying, okay, I'm shy, I'm just going to be who I am, go to a networking meeting, listen to what people are saying, just listen, but listen. Look at them, like the way he's looking at me. Intently, with attention. It makes me feel good, and it makes me feel that I want to know who he is. That's completely human behavior. Let me tell you, we are all human beings. You know what happens? We label. Oh, there'll be CEOs there. What is a CEO? A human being with a label. What the hell? He's got his fears. Oh my God, my business is going down. Oh, how am I going to motivate these buggers to get his business? You have fears. Oh my God, something's going wrong. The CEO is judging me. CEO has fears. Oh my God, something's going wrong. You know, how my business is going to come back. We are all human beings with labels. If you say there is a human being standing there, supposedly he's the biggest man in, so okay, I'm a human being too. I'm executive assistant, but I've got a label, but I'm a human being. Go out there, communicate in the way you know best. Just be yourself. Personal branding is not about trying to put on a show. Personal branding is about understanding that interactions happen between two human beings. And networking is a great way for people to see you one-on-one and to form impressions of who you are. And when I say form impressions of who your real authentic self is. Not an impression of a showy part of what you're trying to put on. Let me tell you, 90% of the time if you're trying to show off, it will be found out at some point. Oh, come on, that show off is come for a party. I don't want that person in the party. So you will get some attention, people will giggle with you and entertain you for a while. But after that, it's hard work. Am I right, Sundar? I mean, we all know that from attending events and seminars and all of that. I don't even care if it's the president of a country. I look at him and say, okay, there's a human being standing there with a label. And I approach him. I've taken selfies with the president of this country as well. I've gone to him and said, can I have a selfie, please? And he's like, he didn't know what to say, but then he allowed me to take a selfie. I wanted that selfie. I mean, to be honest, that's thanks. I mean, you can say that it's kind of him, but at the end of the day, leaders are human beings too. So don't get overawed. Don't ever feel bogged down by a label. And overcome your shyness by becoming aware of it and working on it. Shyness is not a disease. And shyness is not a negative. Shyness is who you are. Just as being an extrovert can be as much of as a problem as being a shy person is, because an extrovert sometimes doesn't know what he's saying. It's always about being yourself, truly, genuinely who you are. Engage. So what is engagement all about? Engagement is about interaction, what I'm doing with you now. Engagement is about understanding that actually speaking, at the end of the day, there are 3, 4, 5 things that unite all of us. And if you feel that you don't have enough things to engage people with, use those 3, 4, 5 things. Let me tell you what they are. Somebody who overcomes great adversity and succeeds, which is why we like sport. You know why? Because there are two adversarial things. And you know what? Very often, when India is playing Bangladesh, I know Sri Lankans want Bangladesh to win. But that's true. When Australia plays England, and when Australia is on top, everyone wants England to win. Come on, England, come on, England. Then, oh my God, they lost. And then when India wins, I get bad looks from my colleagues for a couple of days. What does he think he is? You know, but that's human. That's human. We like an underdog winning, and that's a conversation point. We love little babies. And let me tell you, even the stoicest looking Kawasaki man, inside his heart will be melting when he sees a little baby doing stuff. He may not talk about the babies but it catches his attention. He may not share it in his Facebook post, but he doesn't mind actually having a conversation about it if someone has a conversation about it. His macho image may not allow him, when he's sitting on his large Kawasaki bike, to have anything to do with babies, but that impacts. A story of kindness can never go wrong. For us to find those stories are not difficult. It's all over social media. It's all over news. Easy to start a conversation or engage with people on broad universal themes. Am I coming through? Is it clear what I'm saying? You want to engage with people, you want to have conversations, and I know you might suddenly think, up to now I've never had a conversation with this bugger. If I go and tell him what a sweet baby picture that was, he might think I'm crazy. Right? Right? That's what she was thinking right now as well. Yeah, how am I going to do this? Fact is, it's not. He'll actually look at you and think, oh, this bugger is a human too. Remember, human beings. We're all human beings. And actually speaking, all of these things of engagement, etc., come naturally to us. Very often it's our conditioning which prevents us from reaching out to each other as humans. So get into engagement, be engaging, have conversations, be bold. So let me tell you one, something that happened with me. I was in Barcelona for an international conference, and all of my European colleagues after Barcelona were going to a country called Andorra. The country of Andorra is between Spain and France, and it's primarily a ski resort. And they were going to ski. Throughout my childhood, I'd seen pictures of people skiing. In Mumbai, bit like Colombo, there's no place to go ski, there's no snow, right? So I said, hey, I want to go learn skiing. And they're all going to Andorra, the buggers, they've got their ski things and all of that. I said, I'm coming too. So I went. They gave me a helmet, they gave me the ski thing, and they put me on top of the hill where I was supposed to learn. So it was not a big steep thing, it was like this. The instructor put on that thing and said, okay, lead with your head. And my mind is telling me, Santosh, are you mad? Every time we climb a hill, we go like this, right? With our legs down first, because you don't want to go with your head down, because you'll tumble. So mind is telling me, no, you can't do this. And the instructor is telling me, head first. It was an incredible struggle based on our conditioning. But then eventually came a moment where this lady was screaming so loudly I thought my eardrums would burst. So I just let go. And then I did my first ski and I went shoo. And when I reached the bottom, I got this energy from within which made me feel so excited that I had done something which from my childhood I had wanted to do. You know what? For all of us, it's like that when it comes to creation and projection. The mind says, are you mad? Are you going to put out stuff about yourself out there in public? Whatever this bugger is saying, he's just saying because he's been putting out stuff. The mind will tell you a lot of things. I can tell you while this conversation is going on, your mind will be telling you all this. your mind will be telling you, no, I'll listen to all this, smile at him, make Sundar feel I'm listening to him. But eventually, you can't catch me do this stuff. I'm not going to be out there in public. See, he's definitely thinking that.
He's mind reading also.
Yeah. Am I right? Partly. I mean, the finance man, the CFO.
Manoj is not transformed already.
Yeah. No. The CFO is always looking very carefully at everything you're saying and then logically cutting out everything. That's how CFOs are. I know. Sully. Right? So, I mean, this is what it is. But you know what? There is a line for a brand called Mountain Dew. I'm an advertising guy, which says, "Dar ke aage jeet hai" in Hindi, which actually means ahead of fear is victory. Overcome fear for victory. You have to overcome your innate mental block. Because throughout your life, your culture, your conditioning has asked you not to project. You look at people who project too much and you laugh. But you know what? The ones who you laugh at are projecting something who they really are not. That's why you're laughing. Understand that. If you project your authentic self, no one will laugh. I mean, I do all of this. To be honest, I had the same ski barrier when I started putting it out, thinking, what would people say? I'm doing all this gymnastics and doing things like that, and I'm putting it on video. What will people say? You know what people say? Santosh, tell us how to do this. How can we be part of this? You know, so much so, pre-pandemic I'd lost lots of weight and I'd become fit. My friends called me up and said, "You're keeping the secret to yourself. You should be sharing." So I said, you know what I'll do? Every morning from 7:30 to 8:30, I'll do a Zoom class. How many of you will join? It's been 2 years. 9 of my friends have been doing Zoom with me every morning from 7:30 to 8:30, doing movement practice. 2 years, 6 days a week. At 7:30 to 8:30, we have 9 of us doing this. It's non-commercial, we're all friends. So we have fun doing it. I call it the Gym Sutra class. We have a Gym Sutra WhatsApp group where I'm sharing information about movement, fitness, you know, all of that. You can actually be each one of us. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter what your label is, doesn't matter what your perceived supposed age is, doesn't matter what your background is. I mean, you saw Baba and what is his, Badayak. He was selling peanuts. Look at him. Kacha Badam. And the tune is still in my head. Right? Anybody can go out there and create personal brands. So moving forward, it's not over yet. Consistency. Let me tell you one thing. Now, I would have done this exercise, but I'm not going to do this exercise because I don't want to make it seem nasty. But fact of the matter is, when I asked 3 people to come and say good things about one another, they were happy to say it. If I ask 3 of you to come and say what are the negatives of each other, you won't say that in a public forum. But fact of the matter also is that when you call up and say, I'm going to interact with this person, what kind of a person is he? People will share all kinds of news. Good news travels fast. Bad news travels twice as fast. Brand building is not about going and putting on a show, making false promises. It's not about making maximum money so that you chip somebody off. It's about being consistent, being punctual, making sure that when you're having one-on-one interactions with people, that you're honest and truthful. and that when you promise something, you deliver. Because if you don't, that will be your personal brand. You can project as much as you like on social media, but if in your one-on-one interactions there is no consistency, and there is no honesty and integrity, and there is no punctuality, and I call punctuality because you have to value people's time. If you tell people 10 o'clock, be there at 10 o'clock. If you're not going to be there at 10 o'clock, tell them I'm going to be there at 10:15. I mean, I have another problem. When there's a party at 8 o'clock, I land up at 7:55, the lady's still cleaning the house, and I enter. That's my problem. But that's a different kind of an issue. I'm happy living with that problem, But I'm never happy going half an hour late, being stressed out for a meeting, thinking, oh my God, now how am I going to put this presentation together? I would rather sit comfortably, be with myself, understand what I'm going to talk to you guys about or to any other client about, and spend that time productively if I'm early. Very important. Seems like a small thing, but a very important thing. If I have a conversation with a client and I make a promise about a particular aspect of whatever business we're doing, I try my darn best every time to deliver. Try my best. Can't deliver 100% of the time. But the person across should understand that the delivery, if it didn't happen because of, not because of lack of effort or lack of interest, but because of circumstances that didn't make it happen. So, if you ask people about me, call them, find out, how is this burger? I do feel that 99% of the time, you will get some good stuff on one-on-one interactions. And that's very important. When you have one-on-one interactions with people, be consistent in terms of how that interaction is. And this is critical to personal branding. Personal branding is not about fluff and show. Personal branding is about building authentic, real you, projecting. And I think fundamentally all human beings are by and large honest. They don't want to cheat one another. Nobody likes cheating one another. There will be the odd ball out there who might end up doing that kind of stuff, but generally speaking, as human beings, when we interact with one another, we want to trust one another. Trust is an important element that a brand needs to deliver, and in your interactions that needs to happen. So that's an important element. Appearance. Now, fact of the matter on appearance is that you don't need to, the fundamental point about appearance is you need to be comfortable in what you're wearing. It's that. If you're wearing something like a big high heel, I've sometimes seen people wearing these high heels, you feel, my God, the person's going to topple off and break their head. Or you're wearing this garment which is so uncomfortable, you can see it in that person's eyes, that you feel is either this. Once I wore a sarong, oh my God, I was so petrified throughout that presentation that it'll come off. I wore it because I thought it's going to look good and all of that, but it was a mistake. I thought, man, sarong I can't wear to, unless I have major safeguards below, it can become a scandal. Wardrobe malfunction, boom, news is out, So you have to be comfortable in what you wear, and that is the first guiding principle. And second guiding principle is sometimes accessories help. Is that the next slide? Let me. Oh, you know this accessory, right? Yeah, I know. But the fact is, it is an accessory, and it is an accessory which helps you build an image. Sometimes it helps to have accessories. I have found I like caps. Don't be surprised, right? Why I like caps. But I like caps, and then since I like caps, I like wearing a cap, particular kind of cap when I'm doing Gym Sutra. Sometimes I'm wearing a particular kind of hat when I'm going out. Now, some people look at it saying, what the hell, why is he wearing this hat? But I like it. And you know what? While you might actually think in your head, how will people think about it? Never think about it like that. think about it saying, am I feeling comfortable wearing this? And very often, if you are wearing it with comfort, you will find somebody taking it from their head and putting it on themselves and taking a selfie also. It's what's within. If what's within is feeling good, what's projected looks good. Let me tell you one thing. Sundar asked me a question why I was in Sri Lanka and how much I love Sri Lanka, and I talked about it, but I won't get back into that story. But ultimately, a lot of branding is about heart. It's about feeling. I've given you logical steps for the finance man, but ultimately it's about discovering deep within your heart what are the things that you really feel good about and putting it out there and expressing it. It's a heart thing. It's not a head thing. It could be a head thing. You could pay attention to detail and you could attend to those details and make sure you are doing all the processes right and all of that. But ultimately, it's about feeling. How do you feel when you meet people and how do you feel when you express yourself to people? It's all about engagement, appearance. Appearance is not about wearing branded clothes. So that's why I actually say, when you look at all of these things, and ultimately it's about image. What is image? Image is a perception. How do I perceive somebody? Ultimately it's about that. Brand building is about perception management. One way of looking at brand building is about perception management. And perception management is about controlling the narrative you have about yourself instead of letting the world come to the conclusion. I was in a great session yesterday, that's where I picked it up. And in that session they said they did a small little game where they put a video up of a triangle and a circle doing things. And they kept asking people, what do you think it says? Everybody had a different narrative. It's apparently a psychological experiment that's done globally with 1 million people. And they found almost 1 million responses to that particular game. Fundamentally, it just means that each one of us will have an opinion and a point of view about people. Whether they do something to give you that opinion or not. But if you can control it, with specific focus on all of this, you can actually create an image for yourself which actually is controlled by and large by you. Not everything will be controlled. There will still be some spots which you are surprised a little bit by, but that's broadly what it's about. So moving forward, let me summarize. Brand to differentiate. It's an open expression of your true self. Discover that true unique self, express that self with confidence, project to let the world see your unique self, network to build influence and credibility, engage with like-minded people with passion and values, consistency and reliability fosters trust, appearance, which is your unique style, is your signature, image, a brand is all about perceptions, make it authentic for it to be sustainable. So, let me go to the last page. So, what is my message to you? Start the journey to building your personal brand today. You owe it to yourself and to the world to express, project, and reveal your own unique, distinct self. Let everyone bask in your personal sunshine. Thank you very much, guys.